The 60-minute study system is very important for kids, and here's why. I do not want a child to sit down and study for 60 minutes straight and think they're going to remember everything they studied, okay? One of the things we teach our kids is to learn one simple step at a time in very short increments of time. The 60-minute study time should be designed like this. Every 10 minutes, the child should take a break. Study for 10 minutes, take a break for 5 minutes. Study for another 10 minutes, take a break for 5 minutes. So in other words, we've divided a 60-minute period of time up into 4 different segments of time with breaks in between. That child who uses this method will learn and will retain information better than the same child trying to cram 60 minutes of information in their head, and here's why. Within the first 7 to 9 seconds, the typical student's mind begins to wander when they're beginning to do their homework. They're thinking about texting their friends, they're thinking about, I wish I didn't have to do homework, I can go on and on. After 10 minutes of time, even the typical adult's mind begins to wander. So, one of the things we teach our kids is how to learn information literally one sentence at a time. But let's get back to the 60-minute period segment of studying at a time. Study for 10 minutes, take a 5-minute break. Now, especially with the athletes, here's what I tell them to do. Do 20 push-ups and 20 sit-ups. What this does is send oxygen to your brain. It also makes you stronger. If an athlete is a volleyball, let's say it's a girl volleyball player, and she does 20 push-ups 3 times during a 60-minute period of time, and that's the time she studied for that evening, she just did 60 push-ups that night. Times 5 nights is 300 push-ups. Times 4 weeks is 1,200 push-ups. Times a 3-month season, that's 3,600 push-ups. Every girl volleyball player knows that their ability to jump and hit a ball will be much better if they've done 3,600 push-ups over a 3-month period of time. So, 1, you're improving your athletic ability. 2, every time they do this, they're increasing their heart rate, they're sending more oxygen to their brain, which does refresh them. If a kid sits sedentarily, or is in a sedentary sitting position for an hour, their heartbeat goes down to its lowest point after about 17 minutes. Their body begins to cool off, and they become drowsy. I don't want them to do that. So, you study for 10 minutes, you take a break. Now, another thing that happens during that break is this. Your mind has a moment to assimilate the information you're trying to cram in your head. This gives your brain the time to make the connections for all the things you're learning. Now, even better than that is when you go to sleep at night, your brain truly has time to sort things out. But again, all this ties together to learning to learn in a 60-minute period of time. When I worked with my kids at home, especially my own children, I constantly told them, take breaks, because that's the time you're going to refresh yourself physically as well as mentally. You're going to give your brain a chance to assimilate the information. So the 60-minute study period of time is a very important thing for kids to practice. Now, eventually, the kid will be able to study for longer periods of time. That's fine. But at the beginning, we want them to study for short periods of time, take a break, get back to work. Now, when I say take a break, that doesn't mean they watch TV for half an hour. It's a 60-minute period of time. It is the study period of time. It's part of the 1-hour study zone in the home, and that's when we want, and within that context is when they can take their 5-minute breaks every 5 or 10 or 15 minutes. And it works beautifully. They find that, all my research has shown that their ability to understand and remember the information, which is what comprehension is all about, goes up tremendously.